Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Paul Brown Show. This afternoon, I'm taping live at To Expose You TV studio. Mr. Darrell Goodman, Mr. Ray Harvey, and the beautiful Miss Crescenda. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that we normally don't like talking about, but it's very important. Today, I want to talk about the topic of HIV and AIDS in our community. The reason why I want to talk about this is a lot of people are afraid to get tested because we don't want to know the results. A lot of us, I want you to look to your partner and ask each other, when was the last time you were tested for the HIV AIDS virus? They state that you're supposed to have these tests at least once, twice a year. I know we have a lot of trust in our companions and this and that, but there's a lot of, I'm saying, unfaithfulness that's going on in our community, and you really want to take control of your life, and that's very important. So what I'm trying to do is I want to educate you on the HIV, AIDS, and virus. And I also want to do, what I'm going to do is kind of make it like a 3-part series. I'm going to have a professional counselor who's going to be on the show next. And they're going to discuss in depth more about this disease. And then I'm going to have someone who has the virus, and they will explain to you how they deal with it. So first of all, HIV. What is HIV? HIV is the human immune deficiency virus, and AIDS is the acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Some of the diagnosis of it is if you're a few weeks of getting HIV, you have a flu-like symptom such as fever, sore throat, and fatigue. And then if you don't get checked or tested, this can turn into AIDS. The symptoms for AIDS are weight loss, fever or night sweat, fatigue, and then you start recurring more infections. Okay, in today's society, HIV, they don't have a cure for it, but what they do is they have something that what they can do is they can control it. But there's medication that you have to take in order to do this. If you don't control it, it gets serious and serious. And then what happens is it turns out to become AIDS. And then once you get to that level of AIDS, it's kind of like just a matter of time before you actually you die. And that takes up to like 10 years before this actually happens. So basically I want to do is, I want to just give you some information on it, and we'll just talk about it. And if you have some questions, email me, paulombrown01@yahoo.com, or reach me 704-492-0213. Now, on the first slide that we have, if you look at 71% of acquired HIV is via male-to-male sexual contact. 10% is heterosexual contact, and 10% is by injection by drug use. Now, if you look into our society, we see a lot of our young ladies who's out there they're becoming more pregnant these days, and that's because of unprotected sex. And a lot of our young ladies, our daughters, what they're doing is they're meeting these young boys and they're having unprotected sex with them, not really knowing too much about them. So parents, you need to start talking to your daughters and letting them be aware that before they have these unprotected sex with these young men, to find out more information about it and to see if really when have they ever been tested, and to show them some paperwork showing that they are HIV negative. Show that paperwork. And for the young men, it goes both ways. You go out there and you see a nice young lady and you want to have unprotected sex with her. And then you think that's all over. But then again, you don't know this young lady. And then you have to understand that if you have unprotected sex with this young lady the very same day you meet her or the next day, what chances do you think there is that she may have had it with someone else? And then it progresses, whereas you fall into that potential of possibly getting this disease. So we need to kind of like pay more attention, be more careful about having this unprotected sex and going out and checking yourself and making sure that we are HIV negative. Because just like I said, this is something that just doesn't go away. This stays with you. And, you just have it. For females, the primary source of contact is heterosexual contact. That's 75%. Injection to drugs, 22%. Now, I know, ladies, we may say to ourselves that our partner is faithful to us and, they're not out there doing it. But then again, there's a lot of relationship whereas they're out there having unprotected sex with other individuals. And then they're coming home to you and they're having unprotected sex with yourself. So, be careful, safe with yourself and say, hey, baby, let's go and get tested. And that's just protecting yourself from this serious disease. Now we're going to go to side number 3. Side number 3 basically telling you as far as the number of new HIV virus in 2017. It was 714 in in Charleston. And the rate of people newly diagnosed with HIV per 100,000 in 2017 was 17. We have to look at that and say, those numbers are increasing. So we're talking like 2017, these numbers. Let's go and talk about, if you're looking at these numbers right here, how is it in 2019? Because it has to be increasing. So you got to kind of like look into this situation and take advantage of being educated on these type of situations. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to talk about, they have this thing called PrEP. I hope I'm saying it right. It's a pre-exposure prophylaxis. I don't know. And what it is you see it as a pill taken daily by people who don't have HIV to protect against HIV. You see it a lot on TV these days. You see Truvada. They're advertising this pill, whereas if you are doing things that you may have a possibility of contacting HIV, if you take this medicine, it will kind of like help you into not getting HIV. So Truvada is something that they're putting out there now to these individuals. You see same sex and even heterosexual type relationship. Truvada. Now they have some symptoms for HIV in women. What are some symptoms? There's 9 common symptoms that they have. They have early flu-like symptoms, skin rashes and skin sores, swollen glands, infection. HIV makes it harder for the immune system to fight germs. Fever and night sweat. Your menstrual cycle changes. There's an increased outbreak of other sexually transmitted infection. So you're going to start getting other types of infections more faster. There's a pelvic inflammatory disease, an advanced system of HIV and AIDS. That's diarrhea, nausea and vomiting, weight loss, and severe headache. So when you start looking at some of these symptoms, you start trying to figure out exactly what's going on. You know, most people, what they would do is they would go to the doctor. But a lot of us were afraid to go to the doctor because of the fact that we don't want to know the answer. We don't want to know that we may have HIV. So what we do is we try to avoid going to the doctor at all costs, and then it gets full-blown, and then it's too late. So don't be afraid to go to the doctor when you have these symptoms and find out exactly what you have. What's causing you to have these types of symptoms? Because it may be HIV. So, you know, our audience, you know, there's just so much things that we have in today's society that will help you as far as checking out this virus. And that's what I'm saying. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have some experts come in here, because I'm not an expert on this topic like this. You know, I get tested every time I have a physical, because of the fact that you never can tell when it happens. And then if you do find out, what do I do next? Because they have these drugs, whereas it will help you have a normal life, but you got to take that medication on a regular basis. And if you stop taking that medication, then what's going to happen is your symptoms going to come worse. So the sooner you find out that you have HIV, the sooner they can treat it, whereas you will have like a normal life. But then again, HIV, it doesn't go away. So you have to remember, once you get HIV, you have it. That's not like something whereas that back in the days, whereas they have this thing, they'll treat it and it goes away. No, this is some serious stuff that we're talking about right now. And if you're out there, if you're going out there, going from partner to partner, unprotected sex, you need to understand that one day you're going to run into somebody, because there's a lot of people that probably won't tell you they have HIV. And that's one of the key things that I think they have a law now, whereas if you have HIV, you must let someone know that you have it prior to actually having sexual contact with them. And if you don't tell them that, what's going to happen is you're going to get prosecuted. But then again, a lot of people probably won't, because of the fact that they know once they tell you that, you're going to leave. You know, you're going to kind of like, okay, oh, you got HIV? So what I need to do is, we're going to slow it down here, and then we're going to see more about doing this. So you got to look at this type of situation and find out what your situation is. You know what I'm saying? In our society, we see a lot of our youth, they're not getting tested, but they're having these babies. They're not testing to find out whether their partners are things. So parents, you got to be more proactive and tell your child, you know, hey, this is something hey, this is not something that you can cure. Once you get these HIV, AIDS, it's like, you got it. So we're going to talk about some more about the HIV, and we're going to talk about the prevalence, the rate. You know, black males living with HIV is 6.3 times that of white males. Black females living with HIV is 11.6 times more than white female. So it's in our it's in the black community. But we just don't want to talk about it. We just don't want to get tested. We want to avoid knowing the results at any cost. So what we do is we continue to not just get checked. Just get tested. So I'm talking from the younger generation to the older generation, because we do it as well. We meet these young ladies, and then we have unprotected sex. And then you find the older men, what they're doing is they're meeting a lot of these younger ladies. And once they have this unprotected sex, they go back and they get it. And then they take it home to their wives or their girlfriend. So what you need to do, ladies and gentlemen, is you got to start being more aware, educating yourself on this disease, because just like I said, we don't want to find out that we have it, but if we do have it, what we're going to do is we're going to start getting treated on it, because they have a lot of medicine out there to help you treat it so that it won't cure it, but at what point, what it'll do is you will live a normal life with HIV. So, there's some medicine that's out there that I found out that they have that will help you out. There's a Dovada, Bicotarvi, Simtaza. I'm not saying it right, but I'm saying these are some of the prescription medicine that they have out there that if you use it on a regular basis, it will allow you to live with HIV a normal life. Now, how do you think your family will feel once you tell them, your family and friends, that you have HIV? Now, I know that a lot of people probably would kind of like start treating you differently because of the fact that, it's like they have HIV, so I don't want to touch them. I don't want to be near them, because I might catch it. But it's not like that. There's a lot of different ways, whereas you have to actually do something with this individual in order to catch the HIV virus. So if you hug them, you won't catch HIV. You got to have like unprotected sex with them, and it's like something of that nature in order for you to get this. So, families, once your child come to you and find out that they have HIV, you continue to love them. Support them, because it's hard for them to live this life with it, but then again, it's like, they're dealing with it, and what they're doing is they're going to tell you that they want to die. But then again, tell them that continue to take the medicine and live and enjoy life. So just like I said, that I want to have like a 3-part series on this topic right here, whereas I want to educate you more by having a professional who will come and they will tell you more about in detail about HIV AIDS. And then what I want to do is I want to have someone who actually have HIV virus, how they're living, how they contracted this disease, because this is information that you need to know, and it will better let you know that, what they did to help them live a longer life. So I want to thank you for watching the show. Make sure you go to toexposeyou.com and watch some more exciting shows that they have, and you'll be encouraged. Thank you.